Hello everyone. This video is going to be the continuation of the previous video lesson which we already have taken. So which is of lesson 6 chapter 1, which is midpoint and distance in the coordinate plane. Now in the previous video we already learned about the distance formula, the midpoint formula, because if 2 points are given, what is going to be the midpoint? So if a line is given, line segment is given, how do you find the midpoint? So if you have not watched the video, do watch that video because the midpoint formula is important as well. So for a quick review, this is a coordinate plane. A coordinate plane is formed when the x-axis crosses the y-axis. To the right of 0, it has all positive numbers. To the left of 0, it's all negative numbers. And also, above 0 is all the positive values for y, and below 0 are all the negative values for y. And also the ordered pair is always the value of x first and then the y. So the value of the x coordinate is written first and then goes the right, then written is the value of the y coordinate. Okay, so the next one is the formula, midpoint formula. So when they have given you two coordinates, that is the two coordinates of 2 points A and B, you will use the formula x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So this is the formula for midpoint. Now today we will see how to find the distance between 2 points using formula. There are two ways, in fact, to find the distance between 2 points. So we will be learning both the ways today. So first let's start with the distance formula. So this is the distance formula. D equals the whole root of x1 minus x2, x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So this is another formula which you need to remember, which you need to memorize, the distance formula. So let's see, using the distance formula, how are we going to find the distance between 2 points? So the question says find EF. So you have to find the distance between EF and GH. So you have to find the distance between EF and GH, then determine if EF is congruent to GH. Okay, so so whenever they have given you some coordinate like this, all what you need to do first is write down the concerned coordinate, that is the ordered pair. You have to write the ordered pair for E, and you have to write the ordered pair for F each. So there are 4 points here, right? E is a point, F is a point, G is a point, and H is a point. All of them are points. So you need to write each ordered pair. So let's start by writing the ordered pair. For E, it is -2 and 1. How do you read the coordinates? You have to see the point. This is point E. First, you see where is it touching the x-axis. So it is touching the x-axis here. So that means this is 0, -1, -2. So the value of x is -2. And then look at where it is touching the y-axis. So that is 1. So the coordinate for E is going to be -2 and 1. Similarly for F, we have here is F. So first always check where does it touch the x coordinate. So this is the x-axis. So this is the x-axis, this line. So see where is it touching the x-axis? It is touching at -5. And then you will see where is it touching the y-axis. Y-axis is here. So that is at 5. So the coordinate, the ordered pair for 5 is going to be -5 and 5. Similarly, you will find for G and H as well. Now that we have found all the points, we have to find out the distance between E and F. Now, you might say we can count the squares, but we can't as they're not accurate. So that's why we are using the distance formula. So write the distance formula. D equals the whole root x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Then what comes next? You need to replace the numbers. So always write the concerned x1, y1, x2, y2. Always it's considered like that, x1, y1, x2 and y2. Just write it up so that you will not get confused. So in place of x2 is -5. So we write -5. Then we have the negative sign in the formula. Then what's the value of x2, x1? X1 is -2. So I put them inside parentheses so that we will not be confused with both negatives. Now, if you are ever wondering why are there two negatives, one is from the formula and one belongs to the number. Square plus y2, that is 5, this is y2 5, minus y1 is 1 whole square. So before we do anything, we need to first get rid of these two negatives. So negative into negative will give us a positive. Or if you think how is that possible, there is always an invisible one. So invisible 1 multiplied by negative 2, negative 1 multiplied by negative 2 will give you a positive 2. All what we need to do is solve the parenthesis. So negative 5 plus 2 will give us negative 3. 5 minus 1 will give you a 4. Now, negative 3 squared means negative 3 multiplied by negative 3. That's going to give you a 9. 4 square is going to give you 16. So 9 plus 6 is 15. So 9 plus 16 is 25. So we need to find the root of 25, the square root of 25. Square means 2 times, right? So which same number multiplied 2 times gives us 25? It's 5. In one of the previous videos, I have explained how to find these numbers. They are like a pattern, so it's not that difficult. So 5 fives gives us 25, so the square root of 25 is 5, which means the distance between E and F is 5. Okay, now let's find the distance between G and H. So G and H, we have the coordinates here. This is the coordinates of G and H. So again, in the formula, we are going to put x1, y1, x2, y2. So always write it above, else you will get confused. So x1 here, y1, x2, y2. Okay, all what you're going to do is replace the numbers here. So in place of x2, I will write 3 minus the value of x1 is negative 1. So again, I put them inside parentheses so that they will not, we won't get confused. Square plus y2 is 1, then minus again from the equation, and the value of y1 is negative 2. So because there are two negatives, I put them inside parentheses again. If you can write it directly as plus 2, no problem. Okay, so first we need to get rid of these negative signs. So negative into negative will give us plus. Again, negative into negative will give us plus. So first we need to solve the parenthesis first. 3 plus 1 is 4. So that gives a 4 square, and 1 plus 2 is 3, that is 3 square. So 4 square is 16, 4 fours are 16, and 3 squares is 9, 3 threes are 9. So 16 plus 9 gives us 25. Again, the square root of 25 is going to be 5. So previously we found EF is also 5 and GH is also 5. So that means both of them are congruent. You know this symbol. Already we have taken this symbol. This means congruent, which is similar, which means similar or equal. So EF, the distance between EF and GH are equal. Now, as I told you when I started, there are two ways to find the distance. This is using the distance formula. Another way to find the distance is using the Pythagorean theorem. Now, the Pythagorean theorem, okay, it is also a formula. It is related to right angled triangles. So what does the Pythagorean theorem say? It says that there are three sides for this triangle, right? This longer side, which is called the hypotenuse, these will come in use for you later on. So better you have an idea about it now. Now, if not in grade 7, in grade 8, definitely you have these concepts. So better from now you just have a small idea so that it will be helpful for you later on. So here, this is always this is used for right triangles only. Okay, so the Pythagorean theorem, what does it say? It says the longer side of the triangle, that is C, I have named this as C. There is also a name for this side. This is called as the hypotenuse. It is called as the hypotenuse side. Hypotenuse, the longer side of the right triangle, is called as hypotenuse. And these two sides, which is named as A and B, are called as the legs of the right triangle. Like we have two legs, so the triangle has two legs too, only that our two legs are straight. Here one leg is straight and one leg is sleeping, that's all. Okay, so the shorter side we name it as A, and you know in all the triangles the down part we name it as B because of the base. Mostly we do this, not necessary, but mostly we name the down part as B because of the base. So this becomes A and this becomes B, and the longer side, which is called the hypotenuse, is called as c. Now this is the Pythagorean formula. C square is equal to a square plus b square. Now the square is in the question, okay? We need to find what is a and what is b. So let me help you find the distance between GH using Pythagorean theorem. All what you need to do is, using this line, you need to draw a right triangle. How are you going to do that? Just extend this line from here till the end and from here till the end. So there is a point where both the lines will meet, and that point is going to be here. So this is our third point for the triangle. Okay, so from this point, how much this side is going to be a, the shorter side is going to be a. So we need to find how much is a. So we are going to count from the point where the lines meet till point H. So that's going to give you 1, 2, 3. So that means A is 3. And what about B? From the same point, count till point G. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. So that means this side is 3, this side is 4. Let's put that into formula. The square, it is in the formula. We cannot argue from where did the two square come. It is in the formula. Okay, so I replace C with GH because I'm finding the distance between G and H. So I replace the C with GH. Then A was 3 square plus B was 4 square. We found out from this point till here it's 3, from this point till here it's 4. All what we need to do is solve it. So GH square is going to be equal to 3 square, that is 3 multiplied 3 is 9, 4 multiplied by 4 is 16, 9 plus 6 is 16, is going to give you 25. Now you cannot leave this square with the GH because we need to find the distance. If you leave this square like this, that means GH multiplied by GH, which doesn't make any sense for finding the distance, right? So we need to remove this square from here. So to remove the square, we have to find out the square root of 25. This is how we remove a square. To remove a square, you need to find the square root of the number. So the square root of 25 is going to be 5. So the distance between GH is also 5. So in the previous slide, using the distance formula, we found out GH is 5. Um, in this part, we use the Pythagorean theorem and still found that GH is going to be 5. In fact, I feel Pythagorean theorem is interesting to do. It is much easier than using the formula, but then you need to be knowing both of them. So because GH is also 5, we are going to say yes, EF is congruent to GH. Now, without explaining further, let's start practicing because that's the only way we could learn more. Now, when practicing, you can definitely stop the video and you can do it and then check your answer. That will serve as a practice for you, as well as it will give you more speed and accuracy in solving the questions. Okay, so here, find the length of the given segments and determine if they are congruent. So we need to find whether the line, we have to first find the distance and say that they are of the same distance or not. We have to say if they are congruent or not. But what did I always say? Before you start, write down the coordinates. So we have to find JK and FG coordinates. So let me start with J. So the coordinates for J is going to be -4 and 0 because it is on the x-axis. On the x-axis, it is on -4, but it is not touching anything on the y-axis. So it's -4 and 0. Then the ordered pair for K is going to be 1 because it's touching 1 at the x-axis, and then -2 to the y-axis. So 1, -2. Then we have F because you have to find the distance between F and G also. So for F, just see where is it touching the x-axis. It's touching at 5. And then where is it touching the y-axis? At 4. So for F, it is 5 and 4. Now the coordinate remaining is G. So for G, we have here the point. So see where is it touching the x-axis? It is touching at 3. And where is it touching the y-axis? At -1. Okay, so always first find the distance between JK. So I'm going to write here x1, y1, x2 and y2. First, I'm going to find the distance between j and k. So let's use the distance formula. So the distance formula is going to be the whole root of, that's not straight. Okay. Try to do your work as much neatly as possible, because that's where your work will be appreciated. Okay, so this is going to be the square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Now, so I'm going to replace the values. So that's going to give me x2 is 1, so I put 1 first, minus x1 is negative 4, so I put that inside parentheses so that I will not get confused, plus what is y2? The value of y2 is minus 2, minus, and value of y1 is 0 to the whole square. So now I'm going to simplify them. So this is going to give me 1 minus into minus will give me plus, which means 1 plus 4, and so let me write it down. So this is going to give me 1 plus 4 is going to give me 5 square, plus minus 2 minus 0 is going to give me a minus 2 square, right? Now 5 square is going to give you, how much is 5 square? That's going to give you a 25. So 5 square is 25, because 5 multiplied 5 is 25. Then minus 2 whole square. Minus 2 whole square means it's going to be minus 2 multiplied by minus 2. And you know, when you multiply two negative numbers, your answer is going to be a positive one. So that's going to be 4, which means D is going to be equal to the root of 29. Okay, now I ask you to leave the question like this, as you are not allowed to use calculators, right? And also you have still not gotten into detail of finding the root, finding the square roots of numbers, because you know a perfect root means it's their numbers like 25, because the root of 25 is going to be 5. And then we have the root of 36, because 6 are 36, so the root of 36 is 6. But 29 is a number between 25 and 36, so there is no perfect root for 29, so it will come in decimals. So I ask you to leave it like that, because you're not allowed to use calculators. So the distance between jk is, here I should have written jk, not d, because you're finding the distance of jk, right? So here I will write jk, 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 and jk. The distance between jk is going to be 29. Now let's find the distance between f and g. Now I'm not going to repeat writing the equation again. It's already there, but if you need practice, definitely it's better you repeat it. So let me separate this part. Okay, so this is going to be the distance for fg. Fg. So let me name this as x1, y1, x2, and y2. Okay. So this is going to be the whole root of y2 is, x2 is 3 minus, then x1 is 5 whole square, 3 minus 5 whole square, plus y2 is negative 1 and y1 is 4. So that means minus 1 minus 4 whole square. Okay. Now the next step is going to be fg equals the whole root of 3 minus 5 is going to give us negative 2 square, plus 1 minus 4, minus 1 minus 4 is going to give us a minus 5 square. Now we need to solve this. Minus 2 whole square is going to give you a 4, because minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 is going to give you a 4, right? Minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 is going to give you a positive 4. Similarly, minus 5 multiplied by minus 5 is going to give you a positive 25. So minus 5 whole square is going to be 25. So the distance between f and g is again going to be the square root of 29. Now what did I say? Because it's not a perfect square. If it's a perfect square, we can solve it. If it's not a perfect square, leave it like that. Now we have the distance of jk and fg. Are they both the same? Yes, they both are the same. The distance from jk and fg, but they both are same. So that means we are going to say finally jk is congruent to fg because the distances are same. That's what they say. Determine if they are congruent. Yes, it is congruent. Fine. Let's move on with this question number 7. Now, question number 7, they're saying find the distance between jk and rs. So rs and jk. Now, here I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem so that you will have a clear idea of how to use the Pythagorean theorem. Now, to use the Pythagorean theorem, I don't need the coordinates, but rather I need to draw triangles. So, how are you going to, this is line JK, this segment JK, how are you going to draw a right triangle for this? There are two ways to draw. Either you draw a triangle like that, or you can draw a triangle like this as well. I will repeat that again. Okay, take your ruler. Okay, take the ruler. And what you're going to do is, let me use another color so that it will be clear for you. Okay. From this point, just extend the line. From this point, you have to extend the line to meet this line. So from this, extend the line here. That means which point are they both meeting now? This point is the point which both of the triangles are meeting, right? Or also what you can do is, from here, you can extend this side also. So you can extend this side as well as you can extend to this side. So it doesn't matter however you draw the right triangle, but it should be a right triangle. Okay. Now let's use the Pythagorean theorem. To use the Pythagorean theorem, what are the things we need? First, write down the formula. Formula was c square is equal to a square plus b square, which means this is C. The longest part is C. What is the down part of this triangle going to be? That is going to be B, and this is going to be A, right? So this is A, and the down base is going to be B. If you would have drawn the triangle other side, this will become A and this will become B. So now count from this point, how many units are there for A? From here to J, how many points do we have? From here to here, it's 2. So I'm going to write c square is equal to 2 square plus b square, means from this point where they meet till this point k. How many squares do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we write it as 5 square. So c square is equal to 4 plus 9 plus 25, because 5 square is 25. So c square is going to be equal to 29. Now, as in the previous question, we need to remove this 2 from here. So to remove the 2, I am going to write the 29 inside the square root. Now again, 29 is not a perfect square. So we cannot find the root of 29 unless you're using a calculator. So you leave the answer in this form. Now this was the distance between JK. So let's write here. Now rather than writing c square, you can even write j square. It doesn't matter because we are finding anyhow the distance between jk square. Jk square. Jk square. Now you might be wondering from where did the square come? Because of the formula. So we found the distance between jk is root of 29. Now let's find the distance between r and s. Okay. Now to find the distance between r and s, I will move this away so that you will not get confused with the triangle. Again, we need to draw a triangle using these 2 points, R and S. So how are you going to draw the triangle? Again, you are going to, okay, so you have to draw a triangle. From R, draw a long line. From S, draw another line to join this point. So where is the point which they both are meeting? This point. This is the point they are meeting, right? Now from this point, now first name the triangle. This is going to be B, and the other one is going to be, this is leg B and this is leg A. I already explained what were legs in a right triangle, and this is called the hypotenuse. So this is going to be C. So let's write down, we are finding the distance between RS, that means RS square. Now, how much is the distance from A of A? That is from this point till R. How many squares do we have? 3. So 3 square plus, from this point till S, how many squares do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 square. That means RS square is going to be 9 plus 36, because 6 square is 36. RS square is going to be equal to 45. Now, to get rid of this square, what do? We need to find the root of 45. Now again, 45 is not a perfect square number, so we cannot find the root of 45, because 45 is again between 6 and 7, 7. 6 6 are 36 and 7 7s are 49. We don't have any 45 square number. So from this, can we say that JK is congruent to RS? No, because they both have different distances. So we have to say no, JK is not congruent to RS. This is how you use the Pythagorean theorem. I feel Pythagorean theorem is much more easier than using the formula, but you need to know both. For example, question 8, 9, and 10. They have asked you to use the distance formula and the Pythagorean theorem. So you have to use both of them. So if you can pause the video here, do at least 1 or 2 questions by yourself, then you can start, you can check your answer to see whether the answer is correct. If it's wrong, it's okay, you can correct your mistake. That's how you learn. If you make mistakes, you learn not to repeat the mistakes, right? So if you want, you can pause the video here and do it, then check your answer. Else, if you want to do it along with me, let's do it together. So you need to find the distance between A and B. They said use both distance formula and the Pythagorean theorem. So first let me use the distance formula. This is going to be x1, y1, x2, and y2. Now I am not writing the distance formula, but you need to write it, okay? So this is question number 8. So D, that is the distance, is going to be the whole root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So this is going to be equal to, oops, that's a very bad line. Do not draw lines like me. Use this ruler and then draw it. That became a pink line. I think I'll draw some more lines so that I don't need to keep taking the... Okay. So here, minus 4 minus 1 is going to be minus 5 whole square plus minus this, again there are 2 minuses, so minus minus will give you plus. Minus 4 plus 2. Minus 4 plus 2 will give you a minus 2 square. So that means D is going to be equal to minus 5 whole square will give you 25, because that's minus 5 multiplied by minus 5 plus minus 2 whole square will again give you 2 2's are 4. Minus 2 into minus 2 will give you a 4. So this is going to be d is equal to the root of 29. Now again we have 29. So I told you not to do it because don't do it. Fine. So leave the distance in this way. D is going to be equal to, that's the distance is going to be equal to the root of 29. Now it's to you to try to use the Pythagorean theorem here. Try to use the Pythagorean theorem and find out to see if the distance is the same. Now I'm not doing it because I've already solved it in one way. But let me show you how to solve question number 9 using the Pythagorean theorem. So for question number 9, let's use the Pythagorean theorem, which says c square equals a square plus b square. Now, if the graph was given like in the previous question here, we could draw a triangle and find out. But here, they did not give us the graph. So what are we going to do when they do not give the graph? So when you're using the Pythagorean theorem, how do you find coordinates now? For like the coordinate plane is not given, the graph is not given. So how do you find the distance between 2 points using these coordinates? All what you need to do is find the difference, the distance in the coordinate plane from this x to this x, means the difference between x1 and x2. So for example, if in a number line, okay, there is 0, and here is -1 and -2. So from -2 to -2, how much is the distance? There's no distance because we're talking simply about the same number. So we have no distance. So we write here 0 square plus, now take the y coordinates. Now in the y coordinates, we have 7 and -8. So from 7 till -8, how much is it? How many units are far from 7 to -8? So this is long, but see the short way to do it. This is 0, which is the center. So 7 is on this side. So which means 0 to 7, we have 7 units. Correct? Then you know -8 is on this side. So 0 to -8, how many units? It's 8 units. So all together, how many units? This side is 8, this side is 7. So 8 plus 7, we have 15 units. 15 square, which is, we are finding the distance between x, y square. So xy square is going to be equal to 0 square is 0 square because there is no value of that. Then 15 square. Now if I would multiply 15 by 15, that means it's almost like I will get the answer as 225, right? 15 square is 225. Now I have to again remove this square. So instead of again finding the root of, then again I need to rewrite the question in this form. 225. Now again I need to find out which number multiplied twice gives me 225. So that's 15. The square root of 225 is 15, because when we multiply 15 by 15, we are getting 225. So rather than doing all this, after this step here, you can simply follow this step. What is the new step? See, these are new things you're going to learn. So xy square is going to be equal to 15 square, right? 0 square doesn't make any answer. So because this side is square as well as this side is square, we can simply cancel them. So the distance between x and y is going to be 15. So you have learned something new. Try it. You will definitely get it. Try it with some other numbers. Use questions from the internet. There are many sites which gives you practice. You even have online games. You can even play them and learn. So there are many ways to do. So this is one of the, see how many new things did you learn here. You found out how to find the distance between 2 points, and also you found out a new thing. If there is square on this side and there, you can cancel them if it is separated by an equal sign. So let's do question number 10. Now, I know most of you know very well how to use the distance formula. Only problem is with the Pythagorean theorem. So I am going to do Pythagorean theorem again so that you will get practiced. It's for your benefit I am doing. So V and W. So again, we are going to use the Pythagorean theorem, which is c square equals a square plus b square. right? So which means c is the distance, so we write it as vw square, which is equal to, we need to find a square, which means the difference between 2 till -4 on the number line. So for example, this is to be done in your mind, but I am showing you how to do it. Put the 0 at the center. This side, which is the positive number, we have 2 as the positive number, so the distance from 0 to 2 is 2, right? And on this side we have -4, because one value of x is positive, another value of x is negative, so that's why we are marking it like that. So now from 0 to -4, how many units do we have? We have 4 units. Together, how many units are there from -4 to 2? There are 6 units. That means I'm going to write 6 square plus b square. Now to find b square, I need to find the distance from -1 till 8. So what am I going to do? Pause the video here and you find out how much is the difference between -1 and 8. So did you get the answer as 9? Because always draw any small line like that. Put the 0 at center, which is the positive number we have. We have 8 as the positive number. Not necessarily it needs to be according to the number line. No, this is just a small thing we are doing for ourselves. That's all, for our understanding. So from 0 to 8, the difference is 8. And which is the negative number we have? -1. So 0 to -1, it's 1 unit. So 8 plus 1 is 9. So let's solve this now. 6 square is going to be equal to 36. 9 square is going to give you 81. So VW square is going to be equal to 117. So there is no perfect square for 117. So the distance between VW is going to be 117. So this is how you find the distance using the Pythagorean theorem. So hopefully you have understood this lesson. It is interesting to do. The more you do questions, the more you will like to do the questions, but it really depends on you, because this is like math is a subject of interest. If you take interest and learn, definitely you can reach the top level of math. So try some questions for yourself and try to do your homework. If there are any doubts, you can ask. If you did not understand anything, you can definitely ask me, but try to understand and try to do some questions by yourself. Only then that will be the perfect level for understanding for anyone. So till we meet in the next video, that video will be for your homework. Keep doing math and keep practicing.